It's not often you get a chance to speak with a genuine self-made billionaire. Even you got your own show on CNBC. But earlier today, I got the chance to speak to Mark Cuban, the charismatic tech billionaire who you probably recognize as either the animated owner of the Dallas Mavs or one of the mainstay investors on Shark Tank. Lately, Cuban's made headlines with his controversial opinions about a certain presidential candidate. But whatever your politics, you need to understand this guy is the real deal. He's always worth listening to and learning from. We talked to him earlier today, no holds barred. We kicked it off with Dreamforce, so take a look. Mark, Dream Pitch, first ever.
Yep.
An extension of Shark Tank?
Kind of. I mean, when Benioff asks, I do, right? And so it's something fun. Look, anything that promotes starting businesses,
right,
that supports entrepreneurs, I'm all in.
All right, so why is that so important to you? You don't have to necessarily support anybody. You could just go run the Mavs.
I just love it, right? That's where I get my juice, right? Helping young entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, military entrepreneurs, just anybody who's taken that idea and taken the next step. They've started the business, and if I can support you, if I can help you in any way, I will, and that's why I do Shark Tank. I mean, Shark Tank sends the message that the American dream is alive and well, that anyone from Iowa, Arizona, Poughkeepsie, wherever can start with an idea, turn it into a little business out of their garage, right, and then boom, anything is possible.
Effort and execution.
It's all about effort. The
right,
one thing in life that you can control, Jim, is your effort.
Right.
No one can stop you from that.
And that has to do with sweat equity, but it also has to do with a belief in yourself.
Right.
But also, I guess, not being able to let people say no to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's about preparation.
Right.
I mean, I'm terrified of failure, right? But I've also learned that the more I prepare, the more likely, the more confident I become. Right. You know, Bobby Knight had this great saying that when I was a senior at Indiana, where you come and hung out.
Thank you for joining us that day.
It was a blast. Get my jumper.
Swoosh.
Swoosh. But Bobby Knight said, everybody's got the will to win, but it's only those with the will to prepare that do win. And people tend to lose sight of that sometimes, that it's not just about I have the idea, right, or now I got to go raise funding. That's not that at all. No. You've got to know you're going to be competing with somebody, so you've got to know your business better than your competition, because if you don't have a better solution, if you don't have a unique proposition, then your competition is just going to beat you.
Well, what I thought was the most amazing is the confluence right now with domestic politics. You have been a huge supporter of making it big and then paying taxes.
Yeah.
You tweeted again today that there's nothing wrong with getting hugely rich, but you got to pay taxes.
Got to pay your taxes. Look, do I take net operating losses? Yes. Do I use the tax code, as it's written? Right. Yes. But there's a fine line between pushing the tax code and taking risks and hoping an auditor you can negotiate it with, and just saying, you know what, I made $50 million or $100 million this year. If I'm paying $25 million in taxes, which some people might say is not enough, I'm okay with that.
Now, the idea that it might be genius to avoid paying taxes, which I know is news from Trump.
Look, if the problem I have with what he's done
with Trump
is not that he hasn't paid taxes, honestly, right? It's that he won't own it and he won't explain it. Look, right, if he comes out and says, you know what, I took a chance. I tried to start these businesses, or I invested in these businesses. I thought they were going to turn into something special. I just failed at it, and I learned from it, and I became better going forward. Okay, right? That's what entrepreneurs do. We all fail, and then you only have to be one time, and everybody tells you how lucky you are, right? But that's not what he's done, right? So we talk about a $915 million loss. Own it. Right? That's the example a potential president needs to set. It's what we were just talking about. Right. We have failures. Own them, learn from them. If you can't admit a failure, you're not an entrepreneur. You're not a good business person. There's nothing brilliant about what you're doing. And then we would learn what's behind it. Obviously, he's ashamed of it.
Right. Talk about failure. You go to Mellon Bank.
Yeah.
You have a great idea.
Yeah.
A bank says that, you go around me, that's no good.
Yeah. Well, I went to Indiana University, right? I snuck into the MBA program.
Which is a fabulous program that people need to know about, because it's different. All these programs are very different.
Right. IU, Kelley School of Business is amazing, right? Well, back in the day, right, when they had cards to get into classes, I snuck in. Right. So by the time I was 19, I had most of my MBA done. And then Mellon Bank comes along and said, we'll put you to work. And I thought my only job was to help them make more money.
Right.
They didn't quite see it that way. No. So I went 9 months there, went to another job, got fired, went to another job, quit, ended up in Dallas selling software.
Right. because you have to be on your own. Now, people on your own that you back
Yep.
got healthy oatmeal bites. I bring these up because this is emblematic of the kind of thing you're trying to help people
Well, let me
start.
tell you the story behind this, right? So these used to be really big cookies. A guy named Doug out of Florida sent me this really big cookie. And I took a, I tried it, and I was like, this is a good cookie, but it would crumble. Then I looked at the back at the nutrition, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like no calories, and there's high in fiber, low in net carbs. If we just have to come up with a different form factor. So I said, Doug, I'm gonna give you 75, this is just a guy working out of his garage, like hardly, like $40,000 in sales, right? Just going to health food stores. I'm like, Doug, I'm gonna give you $75,000 for 40% of the company. I'm giving 10% to one of my advisors that works with me because he's gonna help me on this, and we're gonna turn this into a big company. So we smushed them down into the bites. Right. We put them out there. Now they're in grocery stores across the country. From that $75,000, we're going to do $10 million in sales.
Huge.
Oh, I
10 million. Huge.
10 million. This is just our 4th year of business. Right. And I eat these for breakfast every morning. That's, I mean, I can't stay as slim and trim as you, but please. That's why I've lost about 15, 20 pounds.
Nice. All right, let's do a bit of a lightning round the time we have left. We've got, look, everyone talks about Twitter, Facebook, right. Alphabet, what they're doing, Salesforce. Just kind of put it in perspective for us.
Oh my goodness, it's a race, right? It's a race right now to try to come up with the next big thing. Okay. And so they're all, maybe not Twitter, but the rest of them are trying to throw it up against the wall and see what sticks.
Wow, that's really, that's a virtual reality, augmented reality.
Right. And so there's virtual reality and augmented reality, which I'm an active user of. There's still a long way to go. I mean, people think Pokemon just set the stage with augmented, but really I think the grand slam is going to come from deep learning, machine learning. I've got a lot of investments in machine vision and deep learning, because as we create more data through our own use, through apps, through bots, through sensors, that data can be processed now in ways that we weren't able to process before.
Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, all winners?
Yeah, there's enough room, but we don't know what that next big thing is. I mean, I can argue for precision medicine. I can argue that, that's why they're all acquiring artificial intelligence, deep learning companies, right? Because they don't know where it'll take them. The beauty of deep learning in particular is, we create so much data on an ongoing basis. Right. We've only had our intuition, really, and some data-driven opportunity.
That's exactly what it's been. It's just trying to figure out, let's anticipate.
Right,
that's
and you find
mind.
Right, but then you try to find that person who has that feel, right? And that, the Benioffs, the Pages, et cetera. But with deep learning in particular, you process all that data, and you look for not the 100% conclusion, but you look for the 51%, the 60% opportunities that can send you in a new direction. And I think that's why it's so big. And look, we went through a period where we automated the analog. Now we're about to go into a period where we're automating automation. And that's going to change everything we do.
Last word, after your dream pitch, what's your rest of your day?
I'm not sure yet. What do you have in mind?
I understand that you're also involved in politics.
Yeah.
I know that at one point when I spoke with you, you were talking about, well, listen, whatever party seems to have the right idea, but you've gravitated.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously supporting Secretary Clinton, right? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican.
Yeah, I know you. I've always known you as a guy who just wants people to vote.
Right. Well, I wanted to vote. And I have an app. I actually created an app called Register to Vote.
Brilliant.
Right. It takes 30 seconds to scan your ID. In 13 states, we're adding more as quickly as we can. Scan your ID and you register to vote within 30 seconds. But I'm going to support Secretary Clinton tonight because I think it's important. I think she's capable. I think she'd make a great president. I think Donald Trump is just not fit for the job. And so, again, and I also want to be clear, I don't have any deals. I've not getting a penny. I'm not looking for a job in government. I wouldn't take a job in government. I don't want to be an ambassador. I have no interest in doing anything. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to help entrepreneurs. That's who I am, and that's what I want to do.
Let's see right that, because I think that really sums up right now where you are, where Mark Cuban is.
I am.
Mark Cuban, star of Shark Tank. Thank you so much, buddy.
And every night on CNBC.
Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.